Welcome. My name is Chef Elizabeth Whitt, and I'm here at Prep Kitchen Essentials in Seal Beach, California. And we are doing a cooking demonstration for Summer Harvest, a local charity here in Seal Beach. And this is Avery, our volunteer, who's going to be helping us with a bunch of different things. And today I'm going to be doing roasted vegetables, and then obviously you could eat those roasted vegetables just as they are as a side dish. But what I really like to do with roasted vegetables is make a large amount. If you're going to turn your oven on, if you're going to get out your knives and you're going to do stuff, just go ahead and do a lot. And then the leftovers can be thrown into soups. They can be thrown into different stews or whatever, or chilies. Or what we're going to do today is we're going to put them into a frittata. So we're going to take all of our leftover roasted vegetables and then put them in with some eggs and a little bit of cheese and then bake them. And then you have a whole other meal. Frittatas also freeze really well. So if you're looking for a way to cook something, again, in a larger quantity, and then be able to eat a little bit of it, then the rest in the freezer, you can pop them out and then just have them defrost, heat them up a little bit if you'd like, or just heat them after they've defrosted, or just eat them after they've defrosted. So it's something that I like to do with leftovers a lot. So today I'm gonna have Avery move the camera and we're gonna go through a bunch of knife skills. And I forgot to mention, if you guys have any questions, so put it just right here so it's on the food, not my lovely face. Okay. There we go. If you have any questions, you can email me at chef@prepkitchenessentials.com, or you have probably have an email for Summer Harvest as well on the recipes that you guys were given. So feel free to contact us and let us know what you think, what's valuable, what's really helpful, and we'll try and do more. Okay, so these are the vegetables I'm going to chop up today, and I've got a bell pepper, an onion, a potato. I've peeled my potato. If you don't have to peel the potato. My potato was getting a little bit old, so I went ahead and peeled it. I have my carrots, which I peeled as well because they were getting old too, so I wanted to peel them. And let me show you how to run through all of these. And then I'm going to roast them all up with just a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper. Okay, so let me grab my knife. And the one thing you always want to remember is how to hold your knife. So I have my thumb and my forefinger that I'm going to put on the blade. Sorry, I'll get all this stuff out of your way. Okay, thumb and forefinger on the blade. And then I'm going to hold on to the back end of that blade and then wrap my 3 remaining fingers around the handle. This is going to give me more support and control of this really sharp knife. And that way I'm less likely to slip because I have more control over it. Also, it means I'm going to put less pressure on my knife because I have more control over it. So I don't need to use as much pressure. So if I do end up slipping, I'm going to hurt myself that much less because I'm less likely to slip. And if I do slip, I don't have as much pressure on it. So for my carrots, I'm just going to slice off the ends here. Now, carrots are a little harder to get your knife through. So you can saw them like this. If it's possible, just take off those bits right there. But if you want to, let's say, cut your carrot in half, it's just definitely a much more dense vegetable. So what I like to do for carrots is take the thicker part of my blade, just the back end of the blade, and put it into the thickest part of the carrot and just press down, just gently kind of rock your knife into it, but very gently. And eventually your blade gets to the bottom of your cutting board and then you stop. Now, not a lot of pressure at all. And then I have this nice flat surface, so my carrot is not going to roll around. And then I'm going to just chop this up into larger pieces. And again, this is for roasting, so they can be on the large side. So just like that. And then I'll put these all on a baking tray. And I've used some parchment paper on my baking tray, just because cleanup is going to be so much easier with the parchment paper on here. And then I'm positive that my vegetables are not going to stick to my tray. So I'll take my other carrot and do the same thing. Now let me show you, if you don't want to cut, let's see, it kind of settles in and I have a nice flat surface already. I don't have to cut my carrot in half and I can just go ahead and slice it like this. You could also slice it on an angle like this and then roll your carrot and then slice it again on another angle and you get this fun kind of bias cut. So you just roll your carrot each time. So that's another way to do it. So there are my carrots. And then now I'm gonna take my potato. I'm gonna cut my potato in half. Now I can see there's a few little bad spots right here. I'm just going to shave it off with my knife like that, and then cut it in half. And then I wanna slice my potatoes down the center and then turn them like that, and then just dice them on up. And the bigger the pieces, the longer they take to cook. The smaller the pieces, the faster they cook, and also the crispier they get. Oops, there's a piece I forgot to take off. So I'm just doing kind of mid-sized pieces. There we go. Okay. So there's some potatoes and carrots. The next thing I want to do is my onion. So for my onion, I want to take off the top and the bottom. So the top and then the bottom. And then I'm going to use that flat surface that I created, and I'm going to cut my onion in half, and that's going to allow me to peel it that much easier. By cutting in half, I can get into the skin here and peel it really easily. Again, I'll peel it. And then since onions have layers to them, you can see these layers. So that's how thick the onion is. So since it's a lot thinner, I'm actually going to want to cut my onion a lot bigger than my potatoes or my carrots, which don't have any layers. So these guys, I want to make sure that my onions are bigger than these pieces because these are thicker and these are going to be thinner. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically cut this into eighths. So 4 pieces on this side. So nice big pieces. And then 4 pieces on this side. And so what I'm doing, you'll notice I am putting my cut food directly on this baking tray. I am not putting it into a bowl because today I have Avery helping me wash my dishes, but at home I do not have Avery helping me wash my dishes. So I want to make sure that I use the least amount of dishes as possible. So I'm just going to toss this up on my baking tray and not waste an extra bowl that has to be washed. Okay, so now the most fun part of the class, I think, is how to get this pepper cut up. So for the bell pepper, you want the outside part, not the inside. So what I want to do is slice around the stuff I want to avoid. And that first slice, I'm not exactly sure what's going on inside of this bell pepper. So I'm just going to be guessing. So I'm going to guess at what I need to take off right here. But now I have this window in to my bell pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and just follow this window and take the stuff off that I want and leave the stuff that I don't want attached to the center part. And then that way I just take this full center part, toss it in the trash, and I didn't have to put my knife down. I didn't have to clean up my cutting board. It's all ready to go. And so now the toughest part to cut on the bell pepper is the skin side. So I want to make sure I have the skin side down so that I use the flat surface of the cutting board to help me cut through the skin. And then I'm just going to make these basically into the same size pieces as the onions, because again, this is about the same size as an onion, or same thickness as an onion. So I'm going to cut them about the same size. That way they're going to cook at the same time. So there's my bell peppers. And the last one I'm going to do is the summer squash. Oh, and if I had some herbs, which I don't think I have any herbs today, but I'll let me see. Hey Avery, is there a sprig of thyme, or Marcy, is there a sprig of thyme in the fridge in the back? Okay, so here's my yellow squash. Top and bottom come off, and then I'm gonna cut it in half like this. And then I'm going to dice this into nice big chunks because this is much less dense than a carrot and a potato. So I want to have these pieces be bigger so that they're not overdone. So I'm going to cut these into nice big size pieces, about the size of the bell pepper and the onion. Even though these guys are thicker, they are full of much more water. So to make sure that they all come out cooked at the same time, these guys are going to be bigger than the potatoes and the carrots, which take much longer to cook. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to put some salt and pepper and olive oil. And if you have some herbs, oh, perfect. So today we have thyme. I think you guys might have gotten some rosemary in a box, or maybe you have some rosemary in your garden, or some oregano, or some thyme. But what you want to do is just take your whole sprig of rosemary, of oregano, of thyme, whatever. These are really nice to grow in your garden. They're very hardy. Just throw it on there with everything else. So we don't need to worry about taking the leaves off. We're just gonna put it all together. So now I'm gonna grab some salt and some olive oil, and I'm going to just lay it right in the center on top. Olive oil right in the center on top. And then now I'm gonna use nature's best tools that have been washed a lot today. I'm gonna go ahead and just toss this around with the salt and the olive oil and the herbs. If you wanna throw some garlic in here, peel your garlic, but leave it whole, because again, it's gonna be the same size. If you cut it up really small, it's gonna burn before everything else is cooked. So toss everything around on your baking tray. And then this is gonna go in and roast until your potatoes are done to your liking. So I like to put this on at a nice high heat of like 425, 450, and wait till my potatoes are nice and golden and crispy. So that's gonna take about 45 minutes. If you're in a hurry, or you don't want it as crispy, or you don't want it as golden as I like it, then feel free to take it out sooner. Also feel free to reduce your heat a little bit. If you want to roast anything else at the same time, then you can definitely lower or raise the heat as you like. Okay, let me just wash the olive oil off my hands. And then this is gonna go into the oven at 425 for about 45 minutes. I will set the timer. Okay, and now, since this is on camera, I'm gonna show you TV magic of, this is what I did earlier. So I had a red onion that I used. So I just kind of cleaned out my refrigerator. I had yellow squash, I had potatoes, I had a red onion instead of the yellow onion. And I actually cut these up smaller because I knew I was gonna throw them into the frittata, and I wanted them to be a little bit smaller. But I've already roasted these and they are ready to go. So I'm gonna throw these into my frittata. So let me get my frittata ingredients. So the frittata ingredients are just basically some eggs. I'm gonna do half of the recipe. I have 6 eggs, and I have some salt and some pepper, and I'm just gonna take my fork and just beat them together just until they're combined. I'm not looking to make a souffle. I'm just making some eggs with some veggies and maybe some cheese if you'd like. So I just want to combine the white with the yolk. So I'm not gonna get out the mixer or beat anything, just use a fork, easy to clean. And once my yolks are combined with my whites, I can stop. Then I am going to actually do these in muffin tins rather than in a big dish, because that way you can take them out one. So I have my like a cupcake or muffin tin, and I'm just going to use little liners so that I don't have to worry about cleanup. And I'm going to put in the vegetables first and the cheese first, and then I'm going to top it with the egg mixture. So I have my veggies right here. So some summer squash, some potatoes, and the onion. But again, any vegetables you like, broccoli, carrots, zucchini, any color onion, any size, shape onion, leeks, Brussels sprouts, kale, chard, tomatoes, whatever floats your boat. So a little bit of veggies in bottom. And then I have some cheddar cheese, but any kind of cheese you like, cheddar, mozzarella, Swiss, Monterey Jack, pepper jack, Parmesan, brie, whatever. No cheese at all. If you are dairy free, no cheese. So then I'm putting a little bit of cheese in here. And then I'm gonna top it with the eggs. And then these are gonna cook basically until the egg is set. I will show you what I mean. You're gonna see it's gonna set on the outside first, and it's still gonna be a little not set on the inside. So you're just gonna put it back in and check it. But these are probably gonna take about 15 minutes. I'm gonna use up this last bit of cheese. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna add in my eggs and just fill it almost to the top, but not quite. It's gonna rise up a little bit with the eggs and then settle back in. But okay, so what other veggies did I talk about? We did peppers. But yeah, I basically, mushrooms would be great. I basically just clean out my refrigerator. And now one thing is, if you do have a lot of one vegetable, like let's say you have a lot of zucchini and a lot of carrots, and you're going to use 2 trays, go ahead and put all of the vegetables that cook at the same speed for the same amount of time, put them all on one tray, and then put the ones that take a little less time, put them on another tray. In this case, I only had 1 tray that was going in the oven, so I put them all together. But if you are going to do 2 trays and do vegetables for the whole week, then separate them by cooking time. So anything denser like a potato, a sweet potato, an onion, a carrot, those all take a little bit longer in the cooking department. Okay, so these are gonna go in for about 15 minutes, and I am actually gonna put them in at the same time as the roasted vegetables. So they're gonna be cooking in all at the same time. Then I will show you what they look like when they're finished. Okay, gonna wash my hands real quick. Okay, so those are our roasted vegetables. Now here is our finished product. So these are our little egg cups after they are finished, and they puffed up, and the edges started to set before the center. And so I once you see that the actual center of the egg is set, then you can take them out. And then these, you can pop them into a freezer bag and they freeze up really nicely. And then they're ready to go. And this has vegetables and cheese in it as well. So you can make up as many of these. This was 6 eggs as well. So I got 6 from 6 eggs. So this is just 1 egg each. So you might want to, depending on how many eggs you want to eat in a sitting, you just decide how much you would like that to be. And that's it. So that was that's it, we're done. So again, if you guys want to, we can say goodbye. Oh, did you already stop?